Hello and welcome to Jujutsu Kai Quest. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jim.
And welcome to our Jujutsu Kaisen discussion podcast. We're on episode 13 titled Tomorrow.
Yes, correct.
You looked at me like I was wrong and it scared me for a second because I just read it.
That's how I feel every time I intro one of these. So yeah, we're on our Jujutsu Kai quest. We're watching every single episode for some reason.
We're finally done with the versus Mojito arc.
Yes.
And man,
Also, can I rename this arc? The Yuji kills children arc.
off panel.
Off camera. Off panel.
Off panel. So yeah, this in the arc. Overall thoughts of this, and it kind of ended abruptly.
So this has been what, like 5 episodes?
Yeah, around that. Since the movie theater, probably about five. Yeah, if I say 5.
I find myself like, okay, so ultimately I'm kind of annoyed that he gets away.
Yes,
I really thought like this would have been a great time. Like I feel like what's the guy Mojito? I feel like Mojito has totally we've squeezed all of like the useful story elements out of him. He could have just been killed here. Like,
yes,
he should have just died, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he seemed like there's like 3 different ways he could have died, even in his escape.
Yeah, I was honestly bummed he didn't die.
Yeah. So basically, the first like half of the episode is just a fight scene of like them fighting Mojito.
Yes.
And
I got so hyped. So when Mojito, he like puts an eyeball in his one hand so he can watch Yuji, and then he makes his other arm like a huge like blade, and then he runs toward them, but the animation looks so sick. I was like, oh, I got so excited.
Well, it looks good, and then he immediately gets the shit kicked out of him. Like,
that's pretty much the whole fight, is just him getting fucked. And so initially, early on, we talked about how Yuji kills children. So that whole scene too is also really well animated.
Yeah.
Like,
well, luckily those children were asked to be killed, so it's not murder. They were asking for it.
They're asking for it. So what I really
you're gonna quote that and put it on my you can murder children as long as they're asking for it.
Put it on your grave after you get killed.
My tombstone. Those kids were asking for it.
So we didn't mention it, but last episode, the little ending stinger was these 3, which I thought they were curses.
You mean the joke?
The joke, yeah.
The joke scene? We just, playing like the swords in the barrel?
Yeah, I don't know what that game's called.
I was gonna call it Sword in the Barrel.
Yeah, I guess so. And we see these children playing that, and then so I thought it was cool that they actually were in this episode. I thought that was a really smart use of like an anime original scene.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's anime original. But that fight scene, so when Mito, I'm thinking of Hunter x Hunter, when Mojito throws out the children, the whole fight is like either really extreme close-ups of like Yuji being pinned down by one of the kids as they're like attacking him, or everything is like from one like static camera shot, and the characters are like really simplified, but the way they're animated was really cool. It was just really sick.
Yeah. It was very good looking, but then like I love the scene, just them just double teaming, like just beating the crap out of him. He's like stationary, and it's just awesome to see.
It is cool. It's really funny to me because like Mojito feels like it's so epic that Yuji had to kill the kids, and Yuji doesn't seem to fucking care. He never brings it up for the rest of the episode.
Not until the very end. They said I had to kill someone, or like they had to teach him about like.
Nobody said I had to kill someone. I think he meant Junpei. I think he meant Junpei.
But Junpei like just died on his own though.
But I think he feels responsible for it.
I guess so.
I think that's the point. He doesn't care about those kids.
Fuck them kids.
Those literal child.
Fuck them kids, said Yuji. But then we get to the domain, which you think, okay, at the domain, we're gonna see it, and we'll since he'll die, because we'll never see it again.
And so, we get this lengthy flashback for Nanami.
Yes.
And I really was fucking into it.
Yeah, I loved it. I love him just seeing his actual business days, and him going to the equivalent of Kira in part 4, going to the bakery and getting a very detailed sandwich.
Very, just like, we only see him go to the bakery twice, but like, so we're initially presented with him.
It's a regular thing he does, because she knows he's so used to him coming in the same sandwich.
Coming in the same sandwich.
Coming to get the same sandwich and she has like a fucking like curse on her shoulder, like a hurt shoulder or sore shoulder.
Yeah, it's like weighing her shoulder down. So basically, what I really like about this flashback, it really conveys like how Nanami feels like he doesn't belong.
Yeah.
in either world. Like he's good at jujutsu sorcery.
He's helping the rich get richer, and he hates that.
He hates what he does for a living. He seems to only really want money. Like he seems to be very motivated by money.
But like since like the one person he kind of liked and like he helped her, she thanked him, so he's like, okay, this is definitely gonna be my job, and he immediately calls Gojo, and I love that.
Also, to me, what I love about the scene, so he resigns himself to dying here, and so his reaction to that is to think like, I don't like nothing else matters. The only thing that mattered was this time that I helped this woman.
Yeah,
and I like that. That was good. This is good. I like this character so much more than Yuji. I like
you mean how every character so far we've liked, but this has definitely been the best for Yuji though. He actually had a lot of good development in this one. So
the part when once they break through the domain, Yuji breaks through the domain
because we learned it's gonna be a guaranteed hit. So he's basically gonna go right to the soul because he's basically in a hand already.
So I thought that was a really great setup too, because we've already been told that when you're in someone's domain, it is a guaranteed hit. Like even if you block it, it still will hit you. And we know that when Mojito touches you, it's over. Like he just needs to touch you.
When he touches you with like a normal hand, I guess, or a soul. But
also the design of his domain of just being hands.
The initial like reveal of it is very cool.
So sick looking, incredible animation,
very trippy, like a Buddhist trip kind of thing. But like all like
different like hand poses and formations, super sick.
Yeah, and then for like we learned, luckily, is that the stronger the domain on the inside is, the weaker it is on the outside. So Yuji just busts it open and then basically tricks him into like, or I guess accidentally linking with Sukuna. And Sukuna's like, I gave you one shot, you fucked up, and you're gonna just explode with lots of blood.
Yeah, he really fucking drains blood too.
It's kind of funny how like they have to like somehow like accidentally get him involved with like the guy who can like insta kill stuff as well, just as much as Gojo can.
Yeah, it's really funny how this show uses like overpowered characters.
Yes, and and basically he slips him back into the sewers after being like fucked up a lot because
he also goes he does the thing Cell does.
Yeah, where he inflates.
He hyperinflates. Yeah,
yeah,
which is just a trick, I guess.
Yeah, it was like a balloon. Then he kind of like he does like the pop balloon like. The rubber that would be left over, and just goes into like the sewers and just gets away.
And
so that's like he called on the phone like, oh, he ran to the sewers. Even you can finish him off if you find him. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a quick tease of this guy's power to finish him off.
So when he did that, I was like, okay. So we are going to get Mojito get killed. And also the thing I complained about last episode where I was like, why did they bother introducing this character with this black headband? Like, or what he was like a beanie. Like, why did they introduce this character? It's so pointless. And I was like, oh, maybe this actually will pay off. No.
Nope.
Mojito is just fine. And then he monologues about how excited he is to, I guess, attack Yuji in the future.
Yeah, I guess. And like, it's weird.
It is weird.
Also, like Sukuna, also when he was like talking about when he had his soul touch, he's like, I don't want to I want to kill everybody in front of me except for Megumi.
Yeah,
I still have like that interested boner in him.
I fucking.
He literally has a hard on for his potential, and I'm just like,
it's like a Hisoka moment.
So yeah, which I think I talked about it where I bet on like, okay, so this is when he's gonna have whenever he has his transformation or his power unlock. Like that's when he's gonna take control and like of Yuji and then like tell him about it or like come to the dark side. I have fingers and that's like.
So okay, this actually I think you're onto something because the whole thing with Yuji is that it's like very much what we've been told is that he has like a limited time to live.
Yes.
If he gets all 20 fingers. First off, if he doesn't get the fingers and dies, he's dead. If he does get the 20 fingers, then Gojo or someone, a Jujutsu guy, will need to kill him.
Yes, the thing is, like, it's not that he's going to die. Like, he has a time. If he gains full control over him, that's your time. That could be any time.
So I'm wondering if maybe he sees Megumi
as a better host,
as an out. Yeah, it's like a way to get out of like
a stronger host with more potential.
Yeah, the inevitable like death that. Because we know that Megumi has this like weird power,
and he's not nearly as suicidal as that he's going to force his hand so he doesn't fucking die in a body.
Yeah. So I don't know. Very intrigued. I love Megumi. I want to see Megumi more.
As we saw it when we all cheered to see all the post credit to see all our characters like that we wanted to see more of back together.
Okay. I want to talk about the post-credit scene in a second.
Yeah, most of the episode is just the action in the flashback scene and then him getting away.
And then we have this little moment at the end where...
talking about, like, death and everything.
Yeah, where it seems like Yuji's kind of finally understanding, like, things are fucked up. Like,
yeah.
we can't really save everyone.
Yeah, it's just our lives are. We can help people. Like, you can't save everybody, as we saw with all these body bags we have in there. And then we get the quick, like, resolution of, that bully that burned the cigarettes on his head is getting punished, and that teacher stepping up to do something. But he said, I will be punished, but we gotta pay for our sin, like, in due time, but, like, you gotta pay, and I will pay in the future.
This actually made me mad.
And then there was, like, the girl that looked like she was, like, had a crush on him for a split second, and then just, like, cuts away from her.
This scene actually made me mad. I really don't like this, like, shoehorning in, like, what is the
quick
impetus?
Redemption?
Yeah, what is the impetus for like, teacher? This? Is it because... So, the bully, who's all beat up, he says...
He can't move his arm?
He's like, oh yeah, like that Junpei kid, he moved away. So, they don't think he died. They think he moved away, and then this, for some reason, is why they did... So what they seem to do is, they sent out a bullying survey to all the kids, and then, I guess, learned that bullying is a problem.
Also, it's just like, the bully's like, you were a cowardly bitch, like, why didn't you just, like, you didn't tell, so you were kind of pathetic. Like, dude, they're still a teacher, man, you're speaking to a fucking teacher like that.
He is right, though.
I know, but he's also, has, like, rich parents or something like that. He was, like, a big guy in school, and, like, but fuck both of those people. I know they're both going to pay, I guess, but, like, there's gonna be no real resolution other than just what they say is going to happen.
Honestly,
I guess.
What you're saying about, like, the teacher, like, I'll get my punishment eventually. That motherfucker is getting out scot-free here. He's totally just using his power in the situation to not deal with any consequences.
Yeah. So...
And then he's like, I'm gonna keep an eye on you, bully kid. Like, I don't give a shit about this.
Like, half the bully's already dead. Like, and the one, like the girl that also bullied him, what's her punishment? Because, like, we only got, like, the 3 bullies that died in the movie theater, and then only the guy, the main bully, got, like, the shit beat out of him by...
Yeah, what is gonna be... Because, like, I don't fucking... I don't care for this. They didn't need to include this.
Yeah.
It just felt like they were trying to, like, put a happy ending on it.
Because Junpei died, and, like, nothing, there's no real, like, even after the whole arc, like, there's not real resolution towards him. Like, he doesn't go to, like, a grave to visit him or anything, or just,
he's
like...
just fucking dead.
Yeah, he just died. I know, it was, like, a sudden death, too, man. Like... It's like we said again. We said going to that, it was a very sudden end to this arc because, like, there's no real resolution. It feels at the end of this arc. The villain of the arc got away. Like the new character we learned a lot of is dead. Like 3 episodes before the arc ended. Like,
so okay, yeah. On that note, I kind of want to talk about, like, examining this arc, and, like, so the whole one of the big premises of this arc is that Yuji is, like, secret. Like, nobody knows he's alive right now. So this is, like,
other than Gojo and Nanami and the driver.
Yeah. So there was kind of, like, a way for us to spend more time with him and not have to worry about all of these other characters that we were introduced with. But, like, my big takeaway from this arc is Nanami and, like, how great Nanami is.
He's great. I love him. He's a great... I'm going to compare to Naruto. He is he's like Mike Guy, who's like he's another teacher in Naruto, but he's just, like, so cool, like, as a character himself.
Kakashi?
Kakashi is like Gojo, where Nanami is like Mike Guy, where he's also like...
Oh, you said Mike Guy?
Might Guy. That's his name.
When you said... I thought you said one guy in Naruto.
No.
I was like, okay.
Mike Guy. He's the equivalent of that, of just, like, a teacher just as cool, and, like, you know, he has his own arc, and, like, probably the hypest, like, moment or power in, like, the series. But like, it's still early on, but with Nanami, there's still plenty of people to go in this. But it just kind of comparison to that of, like, characters I like that are, like, teachers or, like, 2 other people or a main character and can still, like, kick ass. Like, I just love that.
But yeah, so, like, going back to the thing, so, like, this whole arc was kind of like, we're going to spend more time with Yuji, but, like, I found everything around Yuji to be more interesting, and, like, still, Yuji as a character is not really doing it for me.
And we realize now, too, because, you know, when Gojo showed his power off, that villain got off alive, too. This is the second member of these villain squad to get out from their arc fight.
This is very, very much, I'm getting, like, D&D DM vibes of, like, the DM that's very precious about his NPCs that doesn't want the NPCs to die, so they always get away so he can reuse them.
Like, I'm like, what else do you have to do with him? Like, you get rid of one to show Gojo's power, but Gojo didn't completely kill him.
Yeah, he's still fine.
And then you got like this one, which should have been like, a 2v1, and like, this villain served his purpose of fucking over the main character. He should have beaten him.
Yeah, it would have been really cool for Yuji to like step up and get a kill here.
Yes,
get like a big kill.
Or get like the mortal blow, so the one guy can like the guy reconning and try to find him, gets him, and like it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have got him.
Yeah, but
like,
no, we're just gonna get like Yuji's gonna just suddenly like appear to his friends, and I guess I'll have an adventure to talk about.
Yeah,
but then
I can punch good now, guys.
Okay, but yeah, so then the other thing I want to go. So we get this little post-credit scene where we have
our two squads.
Yeah, they're hanging out.
Maki squad and Megumi squad.
So Megumi made meatballs out of chicken. They
shit.
give a funny little recipe, but then they go into this emotional scene where they're like, "Yeah, Yuji told me this recipe," and then they have this whole
all
thing.
Get sad.
Yeah, they all get sad, and like all I can think of is like. I feel like I've not had a chance for these characters to connect. Like Yuji's whole death thing feels like it came a little early in the series.
We got a couple, like only one episode really of them kind of like we see like the only one episode focus on them in between all that, and like maybe some other cutaways of them looking sad, but that's like
yeah. So I feel like this scene is doing a lot of like emotional like weightlifting.
Yeah.
I want them to reunite.
Yes. As we saw from our teaser, we get tournament arc. It seems to be next arc. So overall, this arc overall was the arc in general. I liked it. I liked the first half a lot. The fights were very good, but I still think like the end was sudden and not the best.
Yeah, I think they just should have pulled the trigger to kill Mojito. Like. I have this
unless he gets killed immediately by like the bad guys, like, oh, you're useless to us now because you lost, and just be like, ugh, I hate when they do that.
Because to me, like, I really feel like Mojito has outlived his usefulness in the story. We already saw him go like, so to me, I was really curious about his domain because his whole thing is like, it's like soul based. So having his domain be like flesh and like hands and stuff was cool. So yeah, I really feel like there's nothing more interesting we can see from this character.
Yes, and like
so just kill him.
All we gotta know is like if someone's not there to break him out, they're gonna be transformed unless he gets Gojo, who's just probably gonna melt his brain.
Yeah, I don't know. I really feel like we've squeezed all the blood from this rock. I would like to move on because I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna make Mojito like a big rival who has like deep connections to Yuji,
or do the thing of like the main character like keeps training, and then when they encounter, he just makes quick work of them.
That would be interesting, but then I would just say, why wouldn't they have just killed him? Like, they should just killed him already.
It's just a weird choice for the end of an arc.
And it's like this is just long shonen-itis. Like they're just playing the long game.
Because like I like the whole Junpei stuff. The stuff with his mom was very good, and like the bullying was kind of even fucked up on like a shonen scale of bullying or like actual like torture.
That was intense bullying.
Yes, like cigarette burns on his head.
Yeah,
and yeah. It was interesting. Nanami was the MVP of this arc.
Totally, 100% agree.
He's the coolest.
Show me more.
Coolest power so far. I love his like power up is very awesome.
This is one of those times where I'm like really bummed because I know that Nanami's gonna take a real backseat to the next few arcs.
Hope not.
Just because
even just a cutaway of him back at the bakery or something like would be. Okay, that's all I need to see.
I feel like all we're gonna really get for a while. We're probably gonna have to wait a few arcs before we see.
And then they date, and it's just the most like
I would love that.
Feel good moment.
Yeah, please.
Even though there's probably an age gap, but whatever.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Their love is pure.
Nanami deserves to be happy.
I love background characters.
So yeah. Any other? What are your general thoughts on the?
It was good.
The arc.
It was cool. The episode was really good. The arc was good.
Yes.
I'm, as I said last episode, very happy to be over it.
And then we can get to Maki.
Bring me Maki.
Maki and Mai. Let's go. I want to see these side characters.
Yes.
I want to see what fucking Panda does.
I love you say that every episode.
We need to know.
I feel like you're hyping yourself up too much.
I know, but
it might not be that good.
It's probably not. But
what if it's literally just like I shoot laser beam out of my mouth?
I poop out bamboo shots.
That's actually really interesting.
As we learned, he said bamboos. The pandas are don't eat meat, and then he eats chicken.
Like the literal second. So someone holds a piece of chicken meat and meatball.
James like they don't do that.
I was like, oh, pandas don't actually eat meat. They're vegetarians. Well, actually, wait, no. Pandas are like, they're what's the word? Pandas are technically omnivores, but they refuse to eat meat because they're dorks, I guess.
They're dorks.
They're mostly just lazy. They just like to eat food that just grows on trees, literally. I think that's true. I think pandas are omnivores. Or maybe they're carnivores that choose to eat. It's like the opposite of cats. Cats are like obligate carnivores. Pandas are like... They're
Pandas.
like... What's the opposite of obligate? That would be like...
On the outside,
choiceful.
giant pandas look like herbivores. But on the inside, they're built like carnivores. But half their calories they eat come from protein, according to a new study. So apparently they eat bamboo to trick their bodies into thinking they're carnivores.
I fucking hate pandas. Pandas actually do make me mad. I haven't gone on a panda
I
rant in a
this
while. But...
This article is called "The Giant Panda is a Closet Carnivore."
Closet carnivore. Pandas really annoy me.
Yeah, so they're not carnivores, but they eat bamboo to trick their body into thinking they're carnivores.
They just basically are overloading
they're
on protein.
Fake carnivores.
They're overloading on plant protein to think that they're actually getting real protein.
Fascinating. The more you know. It's going to become a drastic, like plot point for Panda in the tournament arc. Where, like, you have to eat, like, different kinds of bamboo to power up or something.
It is kind of crazy. We haven't seen Panda eat bamboo, have we?
I haven't seen Panda do anything other than toss people around.
Yeah. All right.
So
yeah, I have to say, I'm gonna go back to that last scene. I like that little last scene.
Yeah,
I like how they're trying to bring up emotion.
So yeah, in the
give me something
in the comments, definitely. What was your opinion on this arc? Like it, hate it, MVP, like that kind of stuff. Like
especially
your honest opinion.
Yeah, don't spoil me, please. But
Yes.
especially compared to like later arcs, how does this arc stand? Because I think it's interesting when you look at shonen. I feel like the early arcs tend to be rougher.
Yeah.
I feel like, for me, like, I guess I'm thinking of, like, the few shonen. Some of the early arcs, like, their knobs are fine. Like, they just kind of have these ideas, and then it takes a bit for you to get, like, some of the more interesting ideas.
I think in Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan arc is pretty good still. Like, Naruto...
It's pretty good, but it's no Namek. Like,
yeah. And then, like, the Zabuza arc in Naruto is really good. Like, even some of the, I guess, early One Piece...
Gesundheit.
Shut up. Zabuza's awesome. Fuck you.
Zabuza. It sounds like a sneeze.
And yeah, even like the earlier One Piece arcs are I guess kind of like, I guess before you kind of found the footing to some of the way better stuff later on.
I certainly had a hard time reading the early One Piece arcs, and I didn't even get past them.
You still started very early, but yeah.
I'm still on Wano. That's an early arc, right?
Shut up. Yeah, so definitely leave comments. Anything else you want to talk about? Or shall we get to the plug part?
No, I'm really excited for the next episode. I can't wait to watch it in 4 weeks or something.
I mean, by the time that this episode maybe will air, probably not. Who knows? That's how time works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, it's so weird to do these, like, ahead of time.
Yeah. I mean, we recorded a lot, like, we did a long session for the first two, and then we're, like, dying on caffeine, like, wearing off on the last two.
Yeah. I'm hitting, like, a weird equilibrium where, like, I'm so exhausted, but
the good thing is we ended on like on the arc, and we can probably take a little bit of a break, more than, and then come back when we're both fully energized. So yeah, thank you all for listening to the versus Mojito arc. Sorry, we mispronounced his name for this entire arc, but we just
can we say his real name?
Go ahead.
What's it?
Go ahead.
Sam is like freaking gaslighting me right now.
Go ahead.
Is it Mito? Mahito?
Sure.
Sam doesn't even know.
Yeah, it's like Mahito.
Mahito. Oh, it's Mahito, not Mojito.
Yeah.
We're saying
Mahito.
Mahito, but Mojito is funnier.
Yes.
And I would love to have one right now.
We both love that, but we're good.
We should, next time we record,
when he comes back. Or when he actually dies.
That might not be this season.
Yes.
Next time we record, I will have, because my mint that I planted 2 years ago, is coming back. In a big way.
Pretend put on a gardening hat. You gotta find yourself a gardening.
Garden season is
there a gardening anime? Or
girls
doing gardening?
There probably is, but in Bacarina, also known as My Next Life is Villainous, because she's so bad at doing her magic, she starts like gardening to connect with her earth magic, and she never gets better. But she's big into gardening, and I relate to her. I love that stupid show. I love Bacarina.
Gesundheit.
That was a good callback.
Yeah.
All right.
For like 5 minutes. I'm great at callbacks. So, yeah, thank you all for listening to us ramble on about the finale. Like I said, please put your comments about your reaction to the arc.
Yeah. Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Yes.
Would you rate it?
Like, also, and subscribe to the podcast. Please follow the podcast on Twitter and each of us separately so you know when the episodes drop if you don't want to look, if you're not looking at YouTube at the moment.
I forget to. I always set these ahead of time. I forget to tweet about these.
You can join the Discord, but Jim didn't put the announcement of the episodes releasing on the Discord.
That's why you need to ring the bell.
Yes.
Ring the fucking bell. That's when you'll know the new Jujutsu Kaisen comes out.
But if you're up to date, like manga reader, you can talk on our Discord about it with other people.
There is a Jujutsu Kaisen.
Gesundheit.
I was gonna say. I was trying to think if we had. I don't think we have one for our show. We have one for the manga.
Yeah, not for our show.
Yeah.
We have it for our other shows, such as Hunter x Hunter First Time and Crusading Through Part 3, which we have not done.
Every time you say the name, it's like 6 more months added on to the next time we'll fucking record one.
Maybe one day.
I'm not even gonna say it anymore because every time I say it, it just.
Or the next day. Or the next day.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna fucking say anything. No comment. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to put a big thumb up.
Hope you're ready for the tournament arc.
Tournament
arc. Yay.
It's like, I don't know. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like upbeat and high. I won't say high energy. That's a lie.
They will find out their friend is alive. Maybe. Who knows?
I want an emotional scene. Give me an emotional scene. Make me care.
The girl said I hit him with a hammer because he was angry that he didn't tell him he's alive.
I'm gonna actually I'll be like blinded by rage if that's what happens. I hate when so many times anime just like falls back on tropes and it feels like it's on autopilot. Please don't make this feel like autopilot, Jujutsu Kaisen. Have an emotional scene.
We'll find out.
Have her shed one tear, please. Have Megan hit him with a smile. No.
Or at least she pulled out like a fucking like voodoo doll she had that one time.
With her most OP power.
I hope she gets more pouches. She needs more pouches.
I would love to see her just completely get pouched up.
This becomes the pouch drawn by Rob Layfield. So.
All right.
I think that's everything.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you the next week.
See you next Wednesday for Jujutsu Kai Wednesday.
Sure, call it that.
Quest.
We can't just add quest to the end of it.
Bye.
Sure.